Ransom, what's up?
What's up, boss? How you doing?
Hey, doing good, man. Thank you so much for making some time for us today.
Well, thank you, thank you.
So can you, again, I always like to start off with the intros. Can you tell me, again, your position, kingdom, alliance? Just give us the 411 to start, please.
So I'm an R4 on server 513 in Legion of Abyss, um, and we've been fighting against server 500, which is a bigger kingdom than us all season. Um, and essentially, there's a couple things that could have happened. One thing, we could have been mass reported by 500, and that was our initial thoughts this morning. Um, I've spoken with the leader of 500. He's said it wasn't them. The other possibility, we had two players from Older Kingdom, and they quit previously. One guy was managing both accounts, and he kind of crashed out last night, and we burned him. So he may also have mass reported just everybody, and just some of it stuck, some of it didn't.
Okay, got it. So what? So give me a timeline here. When did the report? When did the bans start happening? When did everyone start recognizing or noticing that the bans were happening? And at the same time, for the second part, did the bans all come pretty quickly from the first to the
So
last?
all the bands are almost synced up exactly. They're all about 12 hours ago.
Okay.
Um, It was about 4 a.m. for me on my band. Um, I mean, I'm a cavalry player. We have people, we have whales, we have free to play people that have bands. So it's not really, hey, they just got all of our whales. There's people that are 35, 40 mil that are also 24-hour bands.
Okay. And and that was my next question for you is have all the players that have been banned at the moment, have you all been able to confirm with them, is it just everyone is a straight up 24-hour ban? Does anyone have a longer ban than that?
I saw one that was, I think, a 5-day ban, and that guy said that he actually was like using a farm script or something, and that he told him that, like, admitted to it and said he wouldn't do it again. They reduced it to 3.
Okay.
But all of the 24 hours, we're not botting. I mean, like, multiple people are cavalry mains that are botting, that they accused of botting with this 24-hour ban. And I've been reaching out to support in game on Discord and VIP, and like, hey guys, like, what flagged? Because I'm not cheating, so I'm not just gonna get instantly banned again. And that's what concerns me. They don't tell you what was suspicious. They can't tell you any of the programs. Like, oh, it's inconvenient to disclose this because it's part of how we detect. So I kind of sent a message to VIP support and said, look, I need you to tell me what flagged, because otherwise I can't change anything. I'm just going to keep getting instantly banned just for playing the game. Like, if they could tell me and say, hey, here's what it was your antivirus, or you were online too long or something. But I mean, they just say, oh, it's just inconvenient to disclose that. But I've sent in 4 in-game support tickets, and they've all been like, oh no, you're cheating for sure. Like, we double checked, you're cheating.
Interesting. Okay. Wow. Okay. So, well, first off, I appreciate the candor in stating that, one person was doing something for farming, which again, I don't think that is that massive. I understand it is what it is, of course, but that's not, I think, what people would usually associate or what we feel, especially if you talk to again, for what people in the community would say, like, oh yeah, that is just so abhorrent, like how dare this person, they should not live anymore for farming some resources. But okay, so you guys check with everyone with the exception of one person is a 1-day ban, everyone else, or the other individuals, the 5-day ban. And you said that it was a range of people, so it wasn't just, so I guess, did it feel like it was from everyone? Have you guys assessed everyone and said, like, okay, 50% of the people that were banned were like our top fighters? Well, I guess, was there any trend? Was there anything that you guys were able to, I guess, identify in if it was more of a targeted ban, or was it just basically everyone that got banned was an active fighting participant and there was a range of power from, like you said, from low to high within the kingdom?
So it's kind of odd because 3 of our top 5 fighters were banned. But like they didn't like our rally lead wasn't banned. Our most active R4 wasn't banned. R5 wasn't banned. And those are the people that are always fighting in our ball.
Mm.
So again, I kind of after I got banned, I took the day off to try to push this gate today, and then was banned in the middle of the night, so couldn't do that.
Okay. Oh, and that was another thing. So there. Well, let me get to that in a sec. Please finish.
So was reading Kyle's complaints and talking about like auto retreats and stuff like that. We really train our ball, like we have a special name for it. We train it. But again, we had multiple cavalry players who are not fighting in that ball get banned.
Okay.
So it's just confusing. And some of them are again 35 million players, like they're low spend.
Okay. Okay. Got it. Okay. Now, who are some of the strongest players? Any T5s? What were some of the strongest accounts that got banned?
So I'm a T5 that got banned. Nightmare that you're talking to earlier is T5 that got banned.
Okay.
One of our better archers, who's one of our keep garrisons, he was banned. But again, I'm looking at 3 of our top tier 5s right here on the front line that didn't get banned.
Okay, interesting. Okay, and now I'm curious because someone brought up a really good point to me earlier, which was that which was that essentially it feels like there is and can be a actually before I get there. So when the bans were issued, I think I heard you state that there was something about a pass opening happening or something objective wise. Were the bans issued before a pass or after a pass opening or close to one?
This is just a zone 4 pass,
Okay.
and it's been open for like 2 or 3 days. We just kind of been fighting with this other server just at the pass. Hasn't been much of a competitive season. This is like the second time we've had conflict. So we were kind of just fighting a little bit here before Zone 5 opens.
Okay. Okay, understood. Now,
Yeah, they pushed it down our throats after the bans.
oh, okay.
It
No,
wasn't
no, and that was going to be
it
my
wasn't
next question
instant.
for you. Did it feel like there was any kind of coordinated timing for when the bans were issued, and then if it was them pushing you on the level 4 pass or on another pass?
It didn't seem coordinated to me.
Okay.
And again, I was talking to the leader of 500. He said they voted on it, and we were running our mouths in global chat, and that's why they decided to push. So it wasn't instant. It was probably 4 or 5 hours after the bans happened. So it wasn't like, hey, they're banned, let's start pushing.
Okay. Okay, gotcha. Okay, no, understood. Okay. So it didn't feel like, cuz to me that would have, and I imagine probably to others too as well, that could have been indicative of a little bit of a tell on, okay, well, if that happened, they started pushing, okay, maybe it was them or maybe some of the people there were involved.
And that was the first thought because we've been standing here staring at each other for 2 days,
Okay.
and
Okay.
and then we get banned, and all of a sudden they're pushing in summoning behemoths and launching rally skills at us. So
Okay. Okay, gotcha. Now I'm curious, do you have any idea as far as like for some of the top players, even if it's just a range or a window of like total money spent, maybe average spend that they, I guess, have been doing up until this point, um, pre-ban?
mm, I try not to check my bank statements on these games.
Touche.
Um,
Okay.
I've probably spent, I don't know, ten or $12,000, and I would say we have at least 3 players that have spent 3 or 4 times that.
Okay. Okay. So I mean,
We have a couple. We have multiple people that are tier 5 in season 1.
okay. Okay. Understood. So again, a healthy amount.
I was tier 5. I was tier 5 at the end of season 2.
Okay. Okay. So a healthy amount. Now, I guess I'm curious for you, right? Again, I think you are probably one of the perfect people to ask about this. Is You get banned. You have obviously spent a decent amount already on the game from the with it being the first season going in to your, I guess in this case, I don't know. You guys, I think you guys are season of strife right now. So I know you guys have played at least three if this is not your fourth season. But you saying
Yeah,
you
so we were the first group to go through the actual new season 2, then season 3,
oh,
and this is
okay.
our
Oh,
first
oh, oh yeah, you
this
guys
is our
didn't
first
have
SOS.
pre-strife. Yeah, because they
No,
okay. Okay, got it. So you're basically on your fourth season now, but in your first SOS KVK. So
yep.
so you go through this. You get the ban issued. I'm curious, especially if you're saying, listen, I don't cheat, I don't do anything. I'm curious on how does that make you feel when it comes to not only your continued playing in the game, but does it make you feel like, okay, if they're just going to issue out a ban on me and I know I didn't do anything, do you get do you does the thought or the feeling of like, you know, uh, am I going to keep playing at the same level? Am I going to keep spending? Like, is any of that cross your mind, or is it more of like, no, listen, they issued this ban. Obviously, I don't cheat. I'm just going to wait for the ban to be lifted. Hopefully, it doesn't happen again, and you just don't think anything more of it.
I mean, before I dealt with customer support, I felt okay about it. I was like, okay, yeah, I'll just message them. It'll be lifted. Let's get to the end of it. But they're so adamant that I'm cheating, and like, what's gonna happen next time? The next time's gonna be 3 days. The next time's gonna be 7 days, and there's nothing I can do about it. Like, if I was cheating, I'd just take my medicine, stop doing it. I can't do anything differently here. Like, so I'm asking them, like, hey, is it my emulator that I'm using my farms on? Like, can you tell me what the software is that you're picking up? And I mean, they don't tell you anything.
Oh, interesting.
So
Okay, so you have tried to ask and at least
yeah,
and try to be somewhat forthwith in applying some due diligence on your end of just covering your bases and saying like, look, this is some stuff that's happening, but I'm not doing anything that you are accusing me of. But can we work together to try and figure out a solution? So you've basically kind of gone the extra mile there to either ask and or try to resolve it by helping them out in whatever capacity you're able to.
yeah, because I mean, I don't want to spend on a game where someone can just get mad at me and say, "Oh, Ransom's got too many kills.
Someone
Let's go
can
ahead and take him
jeez.
off for 3 days and push." You know, like what kind of game is that?
Yeah. No, I can effortlessly sympathize
But
with.
what I've told VIP is, I said I need reassurance that I'm just not gonna get banned randomly when someone feels like it. And right now, your support is telling me that I'm a cheater.
Yeah,
So like I don't have any I don't have any repercussions against that.
yeah, yeah, man. That's just yeah. It feels like it's a continuation today of what basically has been happening for the past 2 days right now. And we did a big live stream yesterday where we talked about the FSK situation against Lion and 310 and obviously that one there was a lot of emotions that were going around and I and again that I was referencing kind of the two big historical situations that had occurred previously with the NTS cheating allegations, and we had Mark on, who's the R5 there in 49, and we did an interview with him a little while ago, and I was able to ask him some questions about that and how that scenario played out for him and his team, and then obviously with the TA, which again, if you're newer, you may not necessarily be privy to some of these historical things, but even GG was accused and mass reported. Just like some of the NTS people were. And so those were kind of like two of the bigger, more prominent kind of cheating scandals or allegations that were thrown around previously in past. And so and those obviously turned out to be proven that they weren't doing anything wrong. But
Yeah, you came out with a video I think earlier today talking about that. But again, right now, customer support's digging their heels in that they've detected some third-party software.
okay. So so
So
so let me ask you this then. This happens to you. It happens to a number of other people and a number of other spenders. Has there been any conversation now going forward on okay, obviously if the ban can be lifted before the time limit, great. But if not, what is your sentiment? What's the again if it is even something that you guys have talked about as far as how are we going to proceed? Are we just not going to spend for the rest of the season? Are we going to lower spending? has there been any thought, whether it's even just you and your thought, from your own perspective, and or if people have shared, if any of the other spenders have shared anything with you?
Yeah, so we haven't really talked about it on a large scale yet.
Okay.
Um, but me personally, I mean, I need the upcoming wheel, which is going to probably come at reset. I have Dragon tickets already on the account for that, but I told support that I wasn't going to spend until I was confident, and they reassured me that I wouldn't just get banned whenever. Um, so it's kind of tricky. Like we just had a lot of people migrate here, and it's not fair to them for us just to quit because we got upset something customer support did.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, you want to, I mean, you don't want to say, "Oh, sorry, you came because you thought you had all these spenders, and now we're free to play." Um, but at the same time, you don't want to throw good money after bad in a game where you're just gonna get banned because someone feels like it.
Yeah. It almost seems like it almost seems like to me that one of the things to do, or that could be done, especially for those that have access to VIP support, would be like, look, you're going to have to do more than just telling me. Like, you guys are going to have to put an announcement out. I wonder if anyone has asked for that. Like, there needs to be some kind of a public statement or an announcement on what happened, how are you going to fix it and correct it, and what steps are you going to take to make sure that this doesn't happen again. Like, to me, I feel like that's bare minimum from
Yeah,
it, because I know if that happened to me, and I could tell you if I had access to VIPs, which I don't, but if I did, I could tell you like that's something I don't want to say demand, but that's something that I would make very clear. That is my expectation going forward, based on, because again, it's not just your kingdom, right? It's also 310, and there's some reports that I had gotten, and I haven't verified anything yet, but some people have sent me that there's some other kingdoms and players that have also been banned. So I just feel like, to me, that's bare minimum. Like, that's the
yeah,
starting point for you trying to get my trust back. Again, that's how I would look at it, is asking at least those things. And I only say that because there's already a precedent that has been set where they've done that before. When the NTS stuff came out and all that was concluded, a period of time after that, they came out with their kind of new fair gameplay policy, and they addressed the whole, cheating accusations, and what they defined as cheating, etc. But yeah, I mean, again, we haven't seen something this big around this type of situations that have been occurring for a while. Again, the last one I recall was the big NTS one that happened. I think that was a year and a half ago at this point. So, I mean, again, this one kind of came out of left field, and the hilarious part about all this is it feels like it all started right around when Kyle from FSK in 36 wrote his message in the Gen chat about 2.5 days ago, and now all of a sudden, I don't know, it feels like it's Bandgate out there. It's like the Wild West. And anyways, I guess it's kind of a long-winded little soliloquy rant, but it's just all to say that, yeah, man, I empathize with the situation, and again, if it was me, I feel like that would be my bare minimum ask going forward, just to try and get a sense of, uh, gosh, like, I don't know, like, just recuperating emotional and financial investment of just somewhat of a little more of a feeling of a safety net. I don't know if that might be the right way to say it, but
yeah. So I mean, the band that I'm on, I mean, I have 12 hours to go. The
okay.
12 hours, I'm gonna be busy or asleep. Like I don't care if they lift it at this point. I'd almost rather them not lift it at this point, so I don't get. Well, we're not gonna get burned at this. They're not gonna push, but
You know,
I'm off the map right now. When they unban me, I'm gonna be asleep and thrown back on the map. Hopefully, in the spot I was when they took me off. Um, it's just about going forward. And I'll kind of read you. VIP support actually hasn't messaged me back all day. It's just been the regular support that's been responding. Um, but the thing I sent to them was, sorry for all the messages. I will summarize this one. I know you have a lot of complaints right now over these unjust ban waves. If this is your new system, it is obviously flawed. I would like to know where the bans on 513 came from. Was it a report or was it some new system you have? I would like to know which program was flagged on my account, and I like to see the history of cheating that my account has. That was something they kept saying my account had a history of cheating.
Oh, interesting.
And
Okay.
I said I have not cheated, used any scripts of third-party software besides LD Player 9, the emulator which I use for my farms. My main account, which you have banned, has only been on my phone and the CallofDragons desktop app. I need to be reassured that I won't be banned for no reason in the future, and at the moment, your support is adamant that I am a cheater.
Okay. Yeah, no, I think that's fair. Gosh, man, yeah, it is. It feels, I don't know, man. To me, it feels as though this. Not, I don't know if I want to say like the stuff that's happening now couldn't come at a worse time, but the fact that it feels like it all started from, as I was saying, from when Kyle had made that big post on the Gen Chat, and it's, you're thinking, okay, well, this has to be an isolated thing. Like it's just players there that are just mass reporting. And again, regardless if 310 is cheating or not, I lean a little bit more on the side that I don't necessarily believe that every single person there, if not up to everyone there, is. But we have seen cases like this in the past before where the system was abused from people that basically mass reported, and they were able to get a number of people banned. And then when they came out with their fair play policy, it felt like they had addressed this in saying that, okay, this shouldn't be able to happen again, right? When an account gets enough reports on it, it's reviewed before any action is taken. That was always my understanding from the last announcement they put out. But clearly, based on what we're seeing now, that doesn't seem to be the case.
Well,
And
with the timing of our bans, there's no way they went through each individual account and
yeah,
said, yeah, this one's good, this one's not good. But even once I reached out to them, said, hey, I didn't cheat. Please tell me what program flagged. I said, here's the two programs. Like this computer, all I do with it is play Call of Dragons. Like this is all I got it for Escape from Tarkov, and me and my friends are trash at it, so we're playing Call of
that's
Dragons.
what my
Um,
brother plays Escape from Tarkov. He tells me all the time he's amazing, and I tell him, I'm like,
yeah,
dude, you're poop. So just keep
if
it
I
pushing.
killed 2 players in this season, I'm killing it in Tarkov.
there,
But I mean,
there you go.
I have like 4 things on this computer. So I said it's either the emulator, it's the way I was playing,
Yeah.
or it's the antivirus or something. Please just tell me what it is. And they just said any third party plugin that can change the impact of the game isn't allowed. That's all they'll tell you.
Okay. Yeah, but an emulator isn't a plugin though, unless
No,
they're
I mean it's a some
loosely using that as a plugin.
yeah. So I mean what I used yesterday or 2 days ago, we were rallying the pass, and I got on 2 of my farms,
Yeah.
which were accounts of people that quit, to refill rallies with them. And I mean it's hard to do to begin with because you're playing with a mouse on what's supposed to be like a tablet. Um, I mean it's not an advantage by any means. Um, I could have used my phone instead, but I want to be on one. I didn't want to sign up my main account on my phone. Um, But again, they won't tell me if it's the emulator. They just say you cheated, you use third party software, you use scripts, and don't do it again.
Okay. Man, yeah, that's rough, man. Again, all I can say is I empathize. I feel for your guys, and it was the same thing for me with the Lion Group, and even with the GG and the NTS situation. With those eventually getting concluded and coming to light, and I mean, it was to a point where we heard from Mark, who's the R5 there now, and he had stated that because like the situation had blown up, so much for them when the accusations came out. He told us, he said he had like basically reached out or just made kind of an open public statement to the devs, where if they wanted to come in and they wanted to take a look at anything, and he even told us, he's like, some devs joined their Discord, and like they came and joined them in VCs when they were in war. They asked them to do a couple things for them, so they could check, and they concluded that everything was on the up and up. So it's just, yeah, Yeah, I don't know. So I guess from here, in your guys' season for Calling of Courage, how I can only imagine if something and to be clear, if something like this had happened where the bans were issued when the pass opened or something like that, and you guys were just gone 20, like, do you feel like that would have potentially made what happened more potent, or I guess worse for you guys if it almost would have felt like, hey, we lost a lot of territory or we have so much to make up on now? Like, do you feel like the impact would have been that much more greater, or no, because we feel pretty confident in our team, even if that happened, yeah, it would suck, but we still would have been able to make up the ground?
So the season's kind of odd. There's three kind of big kingdoms in it.
Okay.
One kingdom that was pretty decent size skipped it and then knocked out another kingdom. There, to be a fair KVK, this really should be like 2v4 or one or just free for all. But the two biggest alliances planned a merger the first day of the KVK. And so, I mean, we knew we weren't going to win the dragon. We planned on this really being our kind of big hoorah right here on the fourth pass. And we did so well on the fourth pass, we're probably going to try to push into the fifth and just see what happens. But we're 2 billion power. We were a 5 billion clan, and the other two clans were 7 billion. So, and we lost to the other 7 billion clan last season. We know we can't beat 14 billion power by ourselves. But again, like if we get banned again here on pass 5, then yeah, that would be the most devastating thing.
Okay.
If when pass 5 opens, oh hey, guess what? This people that are out for 1 day, they're now out for 3 days. But again, the pass 4 didn't really matter. Like we could just pull it back, but people would have gotten people probably would have gotten burned, and we would have lost troops and resources and stuff like that. I mean, I missed a statue today, so now I'm probably not going to get my points for my 15 golden heads. Little stuff like that. But the main thing for me is just it being fixed in the future. Like I just don't. I want to be able to play without worrying that I'm going to get perma banned over something I'm not doing.
Okay. Oh boy. Well, Ransom, listen, man, thank you so much for taking some time out of your guys' KVK just to come and give us an update on the situation, a little bit of a 411 download, so that way we could at least be informed of another, or I should say, yet another situation like this with more bans being issued. Because, again, listen, if anything, I'm just happy to shed some light on it and to hopefully bring a little bit more of awareness out there, because like for me at least, I very much enjoy and I love covering kingdoms in almost any number of different ways and facets that we can talk about them in. And for me, being able to cover what's happening in the community, I think is really important, and especially when things like this come up, which isn't to say at all that we are in any way, shape, or form advocating for such actions to be taken, but I think it is important to have some kind of a historical reference and to bring these things to light and to the forward or the forefront of conversation, so that way. And again, if there's a dev or someone from the CC team that was listening in on our stream yesterday or today, right, even on the off chance, being able to hear the feedback from the players, like yourself, like with Mark when we interviewed him from NTS, like others, when we had interviewed someone from the Lion, from 310, part of Lion, and telling us how they felt about the situation. To me, these are the things that the COD team needs to hear. Like they need to hear the emotion, the sense of urgency, the demotivation, the deflation of just their levels of engagement. And again, what feels like sometimes is the one thing, sadly, that moves mountains is the bottom line. And, when you start hearing about people saying that, like, look, I'm a little cautious now about potentially spending, or, maybe I won't spend anymore, or listen, if this happens again, or God forbid it happened during a main objective where, we ended up getting a ban for either 24 or longer than that, who knows what would happen at that point. So if anything, man, I just want to say thank you for coming on and talking to us and sharing your side for, what's happened so far, and just kind of breaking that down for us.
Well, I appreciate you giving coverage to it and looking out for 310, and hopefully, I mean, down the road, hopefully it's comes to light that it was a false ban wave like it was in the past. But the real problem is that you're guilty until you prove yourself innocent in this stuff, and they're banning you for 24 hours, and then they're logging off and going to their downtime and not talking for 14 hours or something.
Yeah.
So
No, absolutely. Before I let you go, I always ask everyone that comes on, but any shout outs, declarations, or shots you'd like to fire off?
I'll pass the day. I
Oh,
appreciate it.
okay, touche. No worries, no worries. Thanks, Ransom. I appreciate
All
you,
right,
man. Have a good day.
all right. Yeah, you too, bud.